Hello, my name is Peter Ikeku. My today's topic is
Confined space rescue awareness.
the area I want to look at are definition and example, statutory requirements, work and hazards in the workplace, accidents in the workplace, safety measure, lesson learned, and conclusion. So, what do you understand by a confined space? A confined space is an area which have limited entrance or exit access, insufficient ventilation, and also not designed as a place to carry out a normal work or duty. Statutory requirement. Factory and machinery under safety, health, and welfare regulation 1970, subsection 13, provision on work in a workplace. Code of practice for safety in a confined space 2001 under OSHA 1994. So let us look at a scenario of work, hazard, accident, and safety measure in a confined space.
Confined space hazards should be identified by workers and people who carry out the activity. Pressure vessel, silo, pipe, tank is an example of confined space. Hazards such as low and high oxygen, high temperature, poisonous gases, poisonous dust, or liquid should be monitored by the workers. Hazards should be known, and there should be a permit to work to carry out job activity. There is adequate lighting, and also there should be a communication in doing the work activity. There should be a close monitoring by the supervisor or the trained personnel while carry out the job. There should be a rescue team that is sound or that is always available during the time. Before you work, don't just step in, stop and think before you carry out your around and outside. We encourage the personal gas monitor should be also possessed. Oxygen level, both outside the environment and inside the environment, there should be a constant monitoring of oxygen to know when there is problem, and the barrier should be in place, which is called isolation.
No survivors, 3 fatalities. We're pulling the last one out now.
What happened? I can't believe they didn't follow the permits.
It's gonna happen.
Scenes like this just shouldn't happen. And yet every year, across many types of industries, workers enter confined spaces much like this one and didn't get out alive. Our safe work practices and procedures, coupled with safety training and sound decision making, are designed to prevent this type of needless tragedy. But despite the procedures and despite the training, scenes like this are still all too common. During this program, we'll explain what happened here and how these lives could have been saved. And in the process, we will explain why entering confined spaces can be so hazardous and how those hazards can be controlled by following proper confined space entry procedures.
The lesson learned from the confined space rescue awareness are as follows. The entry supervisor needs to ensure that the confined space operation conforms to the permit. They should remove unauthorized personnel from the area and keep them away from entering the space. To ensure each hazard is identified and controlled before entering the confined space. Ensure complete understanding of the requirement of a confined space rescue, including commanding the confined space rescue and control of the area. Always report any concern you may have regarding confined spaces. Corrective action resulting from lesson learned is one of the best methods for achieving proactive health and safety. Maximum prevention is achieved by correcting the condition that led to the incident at other sites.
Systems of safety-based analysis help in identifying the underlying causes of incidents and are valuable for determining what corrective measures should be taken as a result of lessons learned. All work-related hazards must be evaluated before work begins to eliminate or reduce worker exposure to hazards and to prevent injury. In conclusion, for every confined space work, safety personnel or officers should ensure that the surrounding areas are free of hazards, to test the atmosphere within the confined spaces, to ventilate the confined spaces, to ensure adequate watch and emergency procedures are being carried out. And finally, accidents can be prevented through proper planning and implementation as well as prevention measures before, during, and after work. Thanks for listening.